this revolution. So this morning we want to bring to you on 107.1 FM a very interesting discussion uh, from these generals. So I just want you guys to welcome uh, my special guests on the show. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning, Paul. Good morning, DJ Selector Andre or Bishop.
Oh man, I hear them. I hear them. Yes,
Hello,
yes.
good morning.
Good
Yeah,
morning, Mr. Buddy House. Good morning, Mr. Dynamic. How you guys doing?
yeah, we good.
Yeah, good by the grace of God, Earl.
My Buddy House, who you facing, man? Who you facing?
Man, I trying to put on my face, but I ain't done yet, so I just put the picture.
All right, so we have some others gonna be coming in to join you guys. But let's start this ball. I I I saw the video circulating about this studio issue, and let's talk. We're gonna play it, and then you guys are gonna shoot off and just go, because we need facts, we need truth, and to set boundaries and bars. All right, so we're gonna play this video, and then it's all over to you guys.
Well, we touched on that already. Um, the access to studio, we can either decide, I don't know, what is the cost for an average recording? 8,000? 80,000? 80 to $100,000. And how much recording an average person would have to do to get it right? So all of that is $80,000, $100,000. How much, Samuel? No, in the studio to do recording. Okay, so you have two different levels. Okay. All right. So at the intermediate level, all right, about how many persons will record in a year? No. About how many persons during the industry at the intermediate level would have a recording in a year? About how many songs? Over 100 songs? Yeah, but that one person might record 5 songs. But I'm telling you about persons. How many persons will do recording? 50, 60? I would say about 50. Right, Samuel? And as a professional stage. So you're at a professional level, right? At that, how many persons you will see? 40? About 40, Samuel? Yeah. I'll come to that. So listen, that is $9 million at the cost you're talking about, right? So let us see if we can work on a consortium, because it's volume. Let's record you can and you can do everything at the professional level. Who else has the studio? 2 studios we have in the country, and 3. So we have 3 studios. Samuel, you have 1, right? All right. So here, what I'm going to do. If you do the math, is $9 million to do all the recording in a year. For the next 12 months, between these 3 studios, we're going to set aside $9 million to do all the recording in the country. So any artist, so the agreement that we'll have between the 3 studios is that any artist turn up at any one of the studios, you must allow them to record. And we're going to share the resources with all 3 artists at one level, right? So is that a fair way of moving forward? Okay. And that is why as we build more capacity, right? And this includes you guys from Essequibo, Linden, Barbies. You have to spread the message around. You have to get a list of all those who want to record, and then let's get it out there. Now we have to be conscious too. We can't get everybody who believes they.
Yes, guys. Who wants to start this ball off?
Well, I want to start the ball because I the person who put on the video, so it's best for me to set the framework with um, why I did what I did, on my intentions, right?
Yes.
Now, I first saw a newspaper article concerning the whole initiative, and the newspaper article was not written in a way that you could have basically understand. It was kind of biased and it was one-sided, and I had a wrong conception of what the project was all about. So I kind of, because when these little things, I a little mental. So when I see something that I tend looking right, and I take my medication, I just go a little berserk. So I post up the first thing first, and I abuse the president and the Ministry of Culture for from the information that I gather. But something wasn't said right to me, so I didn't investigate further, and I found the actual video of the presentation, and then I discovered that what was told in the newspaper and what the president actually said with the folks in the ministry was two different stuff. So I post back the new video, the whole hour and change. And I apologize to the president and his team there because I was misled from the newspaper article, and because the statement that I've made then was that you know I was a little rude because I was angry that the things didn't looking up too nice. But then I discover from the video that it wasn't the president's fault. He was asking for inclusion all the time. And what broke the um, the statement that broke the whole situation is when coming down to the end, I'm seeing three Christian representatives. I must put the word Christian in it. I know these guys for years. Well, some of them I have known them personally, but I know who they belong to, and I know like that three pastors' son in this setup, and I've seen that. I'm saying, okay, we have good representation here. We got notable people here, and then when the statement is going to made, how many studios, and none of these guys choose to correct the statement and leave the president to believe that there's only three studios that are existing in the country. That, like I said, I didn't take my medication, so right away, my madness raised up. And I became Ian Johnson, because that's me. I am that the crazy cat. There's no secret. Everybody know that I little mental. So, it's no secret about that. So I started lashing off. But my intention, like I said before, is not to to cause any division, because a matter of fact, when I start this stuff, I give this whole situation like about 10 days. I say, okay, you know what these guys are gonna do? They're probably gonna go live, and they're gonna while they're doing the live, they're gonna say, Mario, we corrected this little thing. Because I was giving them enough time to do that. I said, okay, because I'm saying if you want to lead, then somewhere along some triggers inside you must tell you, hey, um, I think we messed up at the end of this thing here. We need to clarify this thing. But none of the guys choose that are doing live on Facebook. They never choose to say, hey, we spoke to the president, and we included all the other studios in the stuff, because, and I get it for enough time. After 12 days, I say it's enough time for Ian. Nobody ain't doing nothing. It's time for you to be Ian Johnson, because I am a mischief maker in the business. I have been like that from since I born. I born mischievous. So I just throw the stuff out there with the intention that it's going to be corrected, because it's not fair. It's not fair to have a lot of people working, because there are lots of small studios that are working. And I want to tell the folks, because I heard some people commenting and say, oh, these guys got bigger studios and things. But I want you to know one thing: in America, it's guys with a cell phone and a laptop in the house creating beats that some of the big artists are on. You don't gotta get $3 million equipment and all them fine kind of stuff. So I put the stuff out there. I made statements. I will not apologize for my statement because everything I said was based on the video that I put up, the 3 minutes video. All my argument is based on that. All I wanted these guys to do was to acknowledge that they're not the only studios. There are other players in the game, and give everybody a fair chance to eat from out of what the president is going to be delivering. I don't want anything from out of anything. I already got my studio. I already played my part already in my role in the business. I'm still doing what I normally like to do in the US because this is where I am right now. I'm not looking to take any part of the 9 million from any one of them. Right? All I'm saying, just get the other folks involved. There are other studios, lots of other studios. And if the president wants to record a lot of people, then 3 people is inadequate to do the volume of work that is necessary, right? So basically, that was the reason why I threw the video out, and I also I'm not going to apologize to saying 3 pastors' son because that's the fact. There's 3 pastors' son that were there, and I just want to know what kind of spirit took them over. And all 3 of them operated the same way and denied the rest of people that are in the music business the opportunity to also eat part of the food that is being presented to them, which was presented by the president, who was right through his presentation was asking for inclusion of everybody. So if that's the framework under which I did what I did. So there end my introduction.
If I could interject, Earl, I
Yes,
would like
go
to
ahead.
make,
Go ahead, no problem.
but yeah, Bonials, I would like to make, a statement. Ian, I want to start with you. I like what you're calling yourself, man. For you to see yourself as a mischievous person, I don't see you as, I see you as a very progressive man, a man who have contributed tremendously towards the development of music in Guyana. That is who I see. Yeah, all we got faults, all we got problems, but we are not defined by that. We are defined by our conviction of what we do. And yes, if you are misled by an article that was improperly written, I don't know if that is so. So I don't want the writer of that article say that I'm saying that. You shouldn't feel bad because the president was misinformed. The president was misinformed because I saw when he said how many studios there were, somebody next to him put up a hand with 2 fingers. And then somebody in the crowd said 3. And then when he said 3 studios, he was misinformed just like you. So I ain't like how you describe yourself, but the discussion is not about you, it's about the studio remark. Now when the president said, look, I am going to divide 9 million between 3 studios, there was applause. Don't let me look at the 3 pastors one. There was a general applause by the crowd who felt satisfied with that statement. Now that is unfortunate because there are lots of people who I work with, who Birch work with, who Brutal work with, who Wally work with, that were present there and didn't try to correct. One person said 3. One person put up their hand and said 3 studios. All right, the president accepted that because he's not an expert in the music business. The president got enough thing to look after, enough thing to do. But I'm saying the people who knew better could have said, no, man. The president calling for inclusivity. And, I heard a man say, man, pick up the phone and call the ministry. There's no need to do that when people are right there who know better. Who could have said, man, they got a number of other people who would have worked over the years that would have done tremendous work for youths also, for youths. There was one time I was carrying the youth junior calypso competition. I was the backbone of that competition, producing 7 and 8 contestants for a 10 entry competition. And after a while, I got tired because resources are limited. Board has taken over that now and is doing that. And people don't understand that these things just cost money. And I want to ask a simple question. If it was the boot was the shoe was on the other foot, and somebody said they got two studios and they left out Joel Brown studio and Paradigm Studio which Samuel Madas worked with, how they would have felt? They would have felt just as bad as we did and would have tried to make some kind of statement with that is concerned, because it's not fair to know that people would have pioneered and people would have done so much, invested years, not now, not 5 years, not 10 years, but as much as sometimes 3 decades and more, was investing all the time in Guyanese talent, in young Guyanese talent. And then to hear that there are only 2 studios or 3 studios in the country, and again, the president is not well informed, because 3 studios, as Ian said, can't suffice the musical needs, the recording needs of the Guyanese artists. You know how long it takes to put a song together and to mix and to master and to put, so he doesn't know. But people are there, being there, and they could have informed him, and they did not do so. And I am disappointed. I don't want to beat up nobody, because this thing had to be done in love and with respect for each other. Because whilst we fighting one another down and beating one another down, Trinidadian artists getting Grammys, Bajan artists getting Grammys, Jamaican artists getting Grammys, Guyana bringing dead last. And we seem not to understand that we need to work together. We need to love and respect each other. It's the only way it could happen. So I know other people want to make contributions. So there are other things that I have to say, but I can bow out for now and give somebody else a chance to speak. Thank you.
All right, good morning. Birchmore here. I have seen some comments, people saying that he's supposed to give the youths a chance, and is the money got we saw and thing. I want to say this. First and foremost, the president's ideas are extremely outstanding. They are workable, and they can form the basis of a very, very strong music industry. The other thing, it's not about the money, and it's not about youths. When I started in 1997, or before that, as a young teacher at Golden Grove Secondary, I continuously dealt with young people. I am still dealing with young people. I will forever deal with young people, because young people form the basis of our society. They are the leaders of tomorrow. I teach music. I manage young artists. At MASH time, I have 13 entries in the competitions, and it's all young people. When Jomo and Adrian started, they were young. Big Red was young. All those people started with me, and I've continued to work with young people. The difference with me and what the president said, I wrote down all the suggestions of the president. I did a critical analysis of what he said. I did a SWOT analysis of what he said. And I have started to compose an entire industry plan based on what the president said. So unlike some folks who are saying it's about youth and it's about the money, I have gone beyond the president's ideas, because the only way it can be fruitful and be sustainable is if we can craft a plan around those ideas. And so crafting a plan for the music industry is not a fly-by-night thing. No. It has nothing to do with youths. It has nothing to do with that $9 million, because that $9 million cannot craft an industry. You understand?
Yeah.
So what I have done, I have taken it beyond that. So from the 10 points the president made, I have 20 pages of information. And that is the kind of work I am prepared to do with my experience. The president's ideas are solid, they are concrete, and we are not missing the bus. I saw one comment that people don't know when positive things happening. That is so much rubbish. There is no reason why we can't say the president was misinformed. He was. He was misinformed. I am not upset with the brothers because I don't know if they were caught in the moment or what. But the president was misinformed. But nothing takes away from the brilliance of his ideas. And what we have to do is to support it and make it work. When it was time for people to respond from the floor, nobody really endorsed what the president said. Calvin came up with a good idea about airplay, and I have expanded on that. I've expanded on that so much it almost took up the entire document. So what I have done, I've expanded on all the ideas, and I would love to present that to the president because his ideas can now form a solid foundation on which we can build an industry. Those are my opening remarks.
Porch, I want to add something to what you just said. If I gonna cut, I know somebody else got to come in, but I just gonna cut from all the back and forth with the lives and stuff happening. I was told that the old people like me should stay quiet because the young people already have a document in with the president, which he has already looked at. So I don't know where you're going with your 50 page right now, because them young people already got their 100 page in already. I don't know what's on it, but they already got something in, and we old people should just allow the young people to just do what they're supposed to do. So right now I get old and I become I become an outcast right now. There's no, it just reminds me of biblical times when the end of Solomon reign, when the son Rehoboam took over the reign over the children of Israel. And his opportunity was, he had two choices, either to listen to the counsel of the elders or integrate the counsel of the elders with the young people. And he chose to listen to all the young friends there. And we all know the rest of the story from there, because that was the end of the children of Israel. The whole kingdom was divided after then. So history have shown that the counsel of the young people, without the guidance of the elders, don't give them no kind of fruit. And I would base my grounds on spiritual backings.
Finding.
So I that's my point. So I just saying to boards that there's already a document in that the young people submitted. So I don't know how you adding you 50 page to their 100 page. I just I tell you disgusting in the business. I just be me.
Just before Kester comes in, Ian, it doesn't matter. The music business is ever expansive, and no one document cannot satisfy it. Like, for example, we have an economic partnership agreement for the trading in cultural goods to Europe. My document has all those things. We are signatories to the TRIPS agreement, right? So it doesn't matter to me what document is in there. There are facts that I'm sure are missing from those documents that solidifies an industry. An industry is not a superficial thing. It runs deep, and no one document can satisfy that. So I will have my document, and if the opportunity presents itself, I will present what I have. There can always be a meeting of minds and of ideas to solidify the industry. And if we're talking about working together, one document cannot do it because other people have ideas also. Thank you, Kester. Apologies.
It's all right. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for the invitation. And I just want to start by saying, based on my radio program that I had yesterday that I took live on Facebook, I stand by it. Every word that I said, I stood by it. And I have no apologies. Let's just get it out of the way. I'm happy for this discussion that this thing, Bart, you would know, Mr. Hobbs, Ian. This is something that we're doing for years. I mean, you guys are older than I am in the business and all of that. And
I get in a call, Charmin.
I endorse your work. And well, Bonnie, if I call you, I call Charmin. Right? And I'm thankful for the work that you're writing over the years. But now you're at this something make yeah. Now we are at this place where we're trying to move Guyanese music forward, not only locally but internationally. And we applaud the effort of the president and the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport in this regard to try to see how we could push this, because Guyanese are screaming, they're bawling all over the world for help. We see all other countries are moving forward, but Guyana seems to be stuck one place, 1 foot forward, and we're taking like 20 backwards. And so to have something at this nature and at this magnitude with the presence of the man with the highest office in the country speaks volume. And where we should have the best representative to give meaning and encouragement and all the other things to put in place to build the Guyanese music industry to what we want it to be. We fail miserably by talking of war. Why are these nice when I talk here, man? By talking of war with old and young and the young people saying, oh, them old boys days done, now is weak time. Guyanese music has nothing to do with who old and who young. We're trying to establish something that the world has, that we could put our signature as 592 to say, this is our culture, this is what we represent, this is what we stand for, this is what we produce. And we can't find common ground to establish something like this. Is disgraceful. And we could do better. But this thing is not more money, $9 million to sustain a Guyanese music industry. Or if it's the first phase, second phase, or whatever phase, $9 million is a joke. We applaud the effort that money is put forward to start the movement. But in this way, bro, there's no kind of money for several people we rowing, because me not talking about no money. I don't want no money from nobody. You understand what I'm saying? So this thing ain't got nothing to do with fighting long, because this is the first thing we say. When people make mistakes and when they misrepresent a cause and people stand up to them and call them out for the foolishness, they want to say that you bad mind them, you envy them, and it have nothing to do with that. It's just deal with straight facts. And we presenting the facts to you guys, but you're running around in circles. And you know what they say? Those who go around in circles shall be called big wheel. I know big wheel, right? And I'm not saying this to be nice. I don't want nobody like me for what I'm saying. I'm saying because it needs to be said. And we have to take responsibility for our actions. Now we're talking about Guyana music industry. We're talking about a group of people. You understand? We're talking about Guyana here. And once you say Guyana, Guyana, you can get me attention, because I take lashes in the gospel realm for music. Right? I take lashes for it. And all of them people were talking, I didn't see them when I be taking lashes. So don't tell me I don't have a right to talk when I see misrepresentation. So that is my contention. And so I'm very much grateful. We need the president and the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports need to go back to the drawing board and include all on sundry. We need to include the Baltimore Simons, the Bonnie Albs and Charmaine Blackman, the Ian Johnsons, you know what I mean? The Brutal Trucks, the Paradigm Studios, the Jewel Too Cool, and all the studios, the young, the old, and the in between. The DJs, the radio owners, because all come together is what would make this movement powerful. You can't just, all right, we throw $9 million to 3 studios, 40 artists, whoever could walk off the road and say, yo, I get some. Because this is what I run to, you know. The president give $9 million and he said anybody could run into anyone in the studio and you got to record them. This chaos, this recipe for riot. Because a man will feel that they may pay too much attention to he, and the president pay this money for I get record properly. Now there's a whole lot of things that comes with that, because when you record, you're talking about ownership for the production. A man is the man's song, the studio that produce it, the person who build the rhythm. This is a whole lot of things to this thing. How now for the copyright purposes, when royalties got to pass, how this thing will be divided? So there's a lot of questions out there. It's not just $9 million being presented and people just running a studio and record songs. This thing a long-term, long-running effects. And we're not looking at long-term here. We're just looking at for what it is now, what I can get. And then later on, when the mess hit the fan, everybody run and duck for cover and say, nah, me. This is the situation, this is the place where we at. And so I'm just saying it for what it is. I don't have any qualms about anything against anybody, personal life and what they're doing and all. This is their business. But when it comes to Guyanese music and being represented at an international level, bro, I don't write in the line there. I don't write, and nobody can tell me I can't talk. Because they may feel what I feel when I was going through in my time when I was doing what I was doing. And paved the way for a whole lot of the people that were talking right now. So who want bad mind anybody? We got no reason for bad mind nobody. We gotta come together and form a team that is so united that it cannot be broken. And this include the public sector, the private sector, this include the government, this include everybody. All the media, everybody have to have one united stand and voice if we're gonna get anywhere with this. And that is my opening remarks. Thanks, sorry for being so, but I just had to put it in there, man.
Yes, sir. The young people already have a team already. So
Ian, you see, Ian, if you continue like this, we not get nowhere, brother. This thing you got nothing to do with young people.
I tell you how I get it. Because
Because me, yeah, you might be old, but
stick
me old, I know old, man.
a pin. Right. I throw out the post. So I got a lot of things coming back in my back. Now reviewing friendship with people who I thought was my friend, because some of them I don't know where's their motives, because some people come into this business. I don't know if they're looking to get a popularity show off this whole situation, and so because I put out the post about this radio program today. I didn't ask for this radio program, so let me just let the public know that I didn't call the station. The station called me and asked me if I wanted to talk about it. I said no problem. So I didn't call the station to say, hey, I want to get on air so I can air myself out. It's the station that called me. So I'm just here by invitation. So my good friend Fojo took the stuff out from my page, posted over to his page, and had some fake profile person trying to bash me like if they know my life. You know what I mean? So, and that's how I stay. I like call people out. You don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. I'm gonna call you out. So I don't know who promised Fojo how much of the 9 million make he gotta behave like a jackass. So I am not in them kind of thing. I tell you already, I ain't get my medication. So yeah, don't mess with me, because I don't need music to have a happy life. I've been minding music my whole life. Music never mind me, right? I got a good job, right? I'm a very brilliant person. I got all my qualifications. I don't need music to look after my children. I'll be children finish uni. I'll be bigger children right now, done university already. I don't pay for them already. So I don't need no government handout for look after nobody for me. So I just wanted to clear the air and let them know that right now. I got a good job. I'm a technician. I do work. I have the same function in America that I have in Guyana. All the Jamaicans, the Trinidadians, the Grenadians, all them look for me to fix the equipment, and I make money. So I don't need government handout to do nothing for me. I am well taken care of. I had a good job. I get good insurance. I will die a happy old man, even if I don't go back to Guyana. So we put out there. So all who feel that I need the government money because I get bills, I don't need the government money for my bills. I am a hard working guy, and I beg to compare my investment in this Guyanese music industry with anybody else who's been in it. I can guarantee you that I am toe to toe with them, with the investment that I've made that I've never gotten back. In fact, I was sent a document 2 years ago from the Inland Revenue. So I owe the government $6 million for What's Hot Guyana shows that I kept in Guyana to promote Guyanese artists. So when they come out with all these nonsense, and I've been taking my own money from my pocket to promote Guyanese artists, not one time, not two times. I did 7 What's Hot Guyana show, and every time we have a show, we had more than 3,000 people. Something that people said that people not going to come out to see no Guyanese artists. I remember one guy from a company, I won't call him because we got Bill Bridges. Went into his office and said, going to do the What's Hot Guyana show. The man tell me nobody ain't coming out to see no stupid Guyanese artists. I left the man office crying, a big man walking on the road crying. And I went and put my own money and did the show at Culture Center. And the rest is history after that. Then they tell you what happened at the Culture Center. Almost everybody know the story. So I get a little emotional with this thing, And I tell you, my medication is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't take it before then. So right now, a little edgy. So back to whoever else want to.
Yes. Let's hear from Mr. Cody. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hello, all.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
sir.
thank you for inviting me. All right.
Come, Shaman. I
Is
hear
that
you, man. Why?
see if you can sort it out?
Yes, go ahead now, Mr.
Are you
Cody.
hearing
Go
me
ahead.
now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hearing me now? Okay, yeah. First of all, I must say thank you for inviting me to be a part of this panel. In the short invitation, I've been monitoring social media and it was partially amusing. Some that do not like the existence of this panel refer to us for as dinosaurs and all sorts of names. But I take it as being humorous. The serious part and what really prompted me to accept the invitation is when I was told that it's a discussion about Guyanese music. At one time, I told myself that, well, I really don't want to be a part of this discussion anymore. And I'm being honest, as it's been going on for years. And it reached a stage where I call it talk shops, as there's a lot of talk, lots of input, and nothing tangible ever came out of it. I said, let me give it another shot. And it's against the backdrop of what recently transpired at the meeting with the government, which I have my own views, which I would share very soon with you. But what inspired me to be a part of this is the fact that we should be talking about Guyanese music and how to move it forward. And I've been listening to what's going on, what has been said so far, and I too have my little input. And I don't know if you want me to get into addressing my views right away, but
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
yes, sir. Okay. Guyanese music, and we all should agree that it has progressed and come a long way, especially in recent years. I'm of the view, though, that the problem with Guyanese music isn't so much with the production, as that, as I just said, has improved vastly. Our biggest problem is marketing, right? And here I'm speaking about international marketing, not only within the confines of Guyana, but internationally. Talent, as I've come to realize over time, is a small percentage of the whole equation. The more important aspect is how to get it out there in a meaningful way. And we have not mastered that art as yet. Other than that, internally, I think artists need to educate themselves as much as possible as how to go about selling themselves. Image is a significant part of getting your music out there, getting your product and your brand out there. Artists need to pay more attention to that. the DJs and the media, so to speak, they have a very important role to play in promoting Guyanese music as we're speaking about Guyana right now. It happens anywhere, but for Guyana, the DJs, they have a significant role to play. They could make a huge difference. They could bust an artist, they could bust a tune, so to speak. Coming back to what was just done, and don't get me wrong, I applaud the initiative taken by the Guyana government, by the president to have a stake and put something towards the promotion of Guyanese music. That is applaudable. But I think that the government needs to play a major role, right? Even if it comes down to making the music played on the airwaves, making a certain percentage of the music played on the airwaves, Guyanese music, even if it comes to that, so let it be. It happened in the other islands. In Jamaica, I know for a fact, there was a time when they were bombarded with Western music, and I'm going way back. I wasn't even around then, but I'm a historian to the days of ska and rocksteady, where Western music dominated their airwaves. And it's only over time and through transition and the enforcement of local music being played on their airwaves. It happens in Barbados too. Trinidad, to some extent too, yeah. As I speak, I'm doing a project with some Trinidadian artists. They been through the same struggle. Now is the time when our government or the powers that be, whether it be radio stations or whoever, make an effort to make Guyanese airplay a significant part of their output. So much for now.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Is there any other anybody else want to say any other thing?
Yeah, or I would like to make a comment.
Go ahead, sir.
Bonial? Yeah. There were a couple of things that Cody said that I agree with 100%. Marketing has been our biggest problem, and I think one of the best way to market our music is to have our people appreciate and promote it. There is nothing bigger than that, because Jamaica at one time, when they were overwhelmed with foreign music, it was the people of Jamaica. It did take some time, and I am not advocating this, but the Jamaicans went as far as to become violent to get their music played, chop up DJs, tires from the vehicle, break the windscreen when they're playing Jamaican music, till eventually they actually forced them to play Jamaican music. And look, the result today, Jamaica is very influential, not only in music, but we talk in music right now, all over the world. And the government of Jamaica got very much involved. And this is why Dr. Irfaan Ali, the president, His Excellency, should be applauded, because it can't happen without this kind of involvement. Barbados, the same thing. Trinidad, the same thing. The people of Marshall, Montana went to Madison Square Garden and full it up on 2 shows in one day, because Trinidadians came out in support of Marshall, Montana. We are yet to learn that. And again, Cody, I agree. The DJs can play an integral part in this, because they could bust out the artist. They can make an artist by playing their music consistently, not only on radio, but at parties. And we have got a long, long way to go. We have got a long, long way to go. And I would really and sincerely hope that we could understand the challenges that are ahead of us. We can sit and we can talk. Yeah, I agree with Kesto and Ian. $9 million is not even a drop in the ocean to sustain an industry, to promote an industry, but it's a good start. At least it's a starting point. You got to start from somewhere. And this is not about old and young. And I want to say this. You look at the other countries, if there's a show in Jamaica, you're going to find people like Barry Salmon, a big old man who done the business long, and so many other people. They're going to look to the more experienced people to headline, to front. Marcel Montano is no longer a young man, but there he is, you know. And so we got to try and put this thing to rest about old and young and old and young. Because I tell you what, Borch, Ian, myself, even though we're big guys, we invest more in the youths more than even the young producers. We have invested and we have always invested because the youths are the future. And if you're in a business and you don't think, if you're thinking about longevity and you're looking at the youth, then there's something wrong with your head. So I would sincerely hope, and it's, you know, we have always had diversity in our, you know, some people been talking about diversity and they like this, and we love that too. Because Guyana is a land of 6 people, we love that, and it can't just be for one type of people. And so the president is on the right track with a number of things that he was saying. But it's just that we need to find a way now to sit and to talk and to have the right application of what the president has said to work for us. At least this is a good starting ground. And let us not, you know, beat up on each other. And yeah, things, you know, things gonna be said that might offend us and stuff. But you know what? Let me put aside and let me look at the cause. The cause is much more important than, you know, our own personal grievances. And let's put the cause in front, and I think we can get somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alves. If I could just two things quick and fast. One of the things I recognize and that needs to be dispelled is the disrespect from younger artists to seniors, because
Yeah.
it is a Jamaica respect the elders. They respect those who
Yes.
paved the way for them. In Guyana, these young artists feel like they gotta disrespect the older in order for them to be placed somewhere.
Mm.
I remember one time on a
Mm.
television program on Channel 9, I had a young person I suggest call and ask, so Cassidy, when you gonna come off the scene so that we young people could get so this is the message
Wow.
and this is the mindset. So rather than these young people, I mean, and these young people that you help, you know, these young people that you work, these young people that you give a platform to be where they are, and they're coming wrong rather than working with you. They're trying to undermine you and disrespect you so that they could be the
Mm.
one or be the face to say, yes, I is the new sheriff in town. This is not how it is done. That is not, you gotta get the blessing of the elders. And so we need to understand, and we need to understand this real fast. This is Guyanese music industry. This is not a personal house we're talking about here.
Mhm.
So we gotta put aside our petty differences and work together. I was telling a friend earlier, because my phone been blowing up since yesterday, you know, with the amount of, you know, complaints from people on who said this and me. They in this back and forth with nobody on social media. I gonna go and do a live to respond to this body. Listen, I pass them foolish stage that I'm about developing, you know, the music, and whosoever will, let them come. I got a forum, I got a space, and everybody is welcome to be, you know, interviewed or the music being played or whatever. That is me. I'm a very fair person, and I give Jackie Jacket and Dil Chikot. You're gonna be my friend if I promote you. If it makes sense, boss, Cassidy gonna play it. I go, and I only play it. I mean, I gonna really put it out there. Secondly, and I will give somebody else the floor, DJs need to be included on a more respectable way. DJs have been treated as, you know, somebody who ain't got no sense, they ain't get education, they just there playing music. But DJs, when there's election, the politician use the DJs to get the message to the bosses. Why when money time come around, DJs is not in the equation? The artists pay the studio to record the music, but when they come to the DJs, they come with the cassette or with a flash drive with no money. So how the DJ eat in? The DJ got family, the DJ got bills too. So DJs have to be included in this. Some DJs might be set because of who they're working with and they're getting their money. But there are others who don't even have a bus fare. So what are we gonna do? So this thing is not just about artists and studio and radio. You got everybody's included in this, man. Everybody. And we gotta put some respect to the thing. Yeah? We gotta put some respect to the thing. I talk, you know.
I want to jump in here right now. I gotta continue from what Kester one of the points that Kester made, because I had a lot of calls from a lot of folks who tell me that you had your time on what you did in your time. Now the young people getting this thing to do this thing. Now I trying to block the young people from doing what they're doing. So I had to tell them, listen to me. I didn't have a president who tell me that they're gonna give me bust up nothing for gifts to me. Everything that I did in the music business, I did out of my pocket. Everything music, and I want to pick up a TV station right now that nobody don't ever call. Guyanese music was built on the backbone of Channel 9. I don't care. I would argue with anybody at any forum to tell me that that's not true. Guyanese music over the last 20, 25, 30 years was built on the backbone of Channel 9. Because when the radio refused us, when we got kicked off the radio, because I've got a story to tell. I got me story sweet. I'll probably write a book with it. We got kicked off the radio because we couldn't be the subsidies that we were given. The government changed, the new person will come in, and the new marketing people said we got to pay the full price. We couldn't afford the full price to kick me off the radio. We went to Channel 9. We carry a radio program to a TV station. We didn't even have cameras. And that's where Talent Exclusive and all them stuff I've been doing bought it. It bought it out of the desperation just to have the music promoted. And we didn't have a radio platform because we couldn't afford it, and even to some of the persecutions that we went through, because we would go out and get new clients to support our radio. And when we bring the clients into the radio station, right? When we bring the clients into the radio station, the marketing team went and gave them a better deal than we were giving them. So we were losing our clients to the marketing team at GBC then. So, I had a rough road, and I decided that I'm going to take my money, thanks to private people like Colors Boutique, Keyshars, and them guys who just decided, hey, and some other businessmen who decided they're going to give the little bit every month for we keep ourselves on television. The television program, the radio television program on Channel 9 gets so popular that and I'll put this on record, y'all notice right now too, that Hits and Jams used to come every year and take over my program on Channel 9 to promote hits, to promote Jam Zone. Every time Jam Zone come on, they would take my program for 6 weeks. I don't go and see my program no more on Channel 9. They took the program off because we had an audience. So, when people tell me I had my time and what I did and all that kind of stuff, I think I have excelled with the resources that I had before me. I didn't have the financial backings that I have right now because I've always been a guy who's been doing much. So I applaud the efforts of the president to support the youngsters right now, but I don't want this disrespect about people left in the young people and for kind of stuff. I have seen the failures of talking about from a biblical standpoint. There's a failure. There's always a failure when the experience and the wisdoms are not added to the energies that are available. So we're moving forward with the experience from the older people and the energies from the young people, and everybody push everything into the pot, and we can move forward. And that's what I want to see. And I just want to also deal with the situation that we came on air for. I have nothing against the Christian brothers, them that I call out. I call them out because it was wrong for me to see it and not say anything, right? Because this is the kind of person I am. I cannot be. I'm the defender for Guyanese music and for the Guyanese artists and the studios and the production. Because I left Guyana, came to New York. I went back to school for 3 years. I said, I even want to use the word, like, I done with music, and then the jump back in, man, and they're back in doing the same thing, helping almost everybody. I am in New York doing the same thing that I did in Guyana. Everybody who wants something, call Ian Johnson, because they want the thing copyright, they want to know how to do this, they want to know how to do that, they want to know how to do everything. Do I get paid for what I do? Zero, absolutely nothing, right? So when all these things happening and people trying to make you look obsolete, when you were the brainchild, you know how many people in Guyana I register for copyrights, and they're living in Guyana. I paid personally out in my pocket. I paid for them. If they're honest enough, they could jump in on this live and put the name down at the bottom and say, "Hey, you did it for me." You know, I did this. I came to this country, meet people who producing music for over 20-something years and get hit songs that people tell them that they register and they wasn't registered. I registered them here. This is my work and my function in the US right now. Still helping people because that's who I am. I'm a helper. You know, I was born to be a journey jocker, I suppose it be. I just take the load from everybody and just do what I gotta do. I don't ask no question. I just do what I gotta do. So, well, I ain't thinking we got anything else. I'm gonna stop here and pause for a moment and put myself back together.
All right, a lot has been said today. Bert, you have anything that you want to say?
Yes.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to start off by being cynical. The young folks will forever be young. I was 10 years at one time, 11, 12. It's a progression. And so it is foolish to criticize maturity. Secondly, the greatest sprinter of all time. His coach was a very young man indeed. Glenn Mills was so young. He was 20. Coming off of being cynical now, Cody and Bonnie made two very important points. One about the role of DJs, or I think it was Kester. Now, airplay and the active participation of DJs has to be looked at in the wider industry context. The thing is that we have tended to look at every aspect of the industry in isolation. And that is why sustainability has been difficult for us and we have not grown. And so when the president put forward his points, I decided that we need to take a detour and move away from looking at things in isolation, like the Guyana night at Cricket Carnival cannot be looked at in isolation as the Guyana night. How are we going to build on that Guyana night so that it lasts for the next 15 years? How are we going to get the DJs involved in the mainstream of the industry rather than them feeling that they're just an appendage, they're just an add-on? And that is what we've been doing, right? So we need to look at all these things in the larger context of a proper industry. We also need to look at the many agreements that we have signed that can get us to the next level. Like I always like to talk about the economic partnership agreement, which gave us access, which will give us access to Europe to trade in cultural goods and be more profitable, because in that way we are forming partnerships with the industry in Europe that can sustain us in that market. So it's not just a big man who wants to talk foolishness. It's the big man who understands the industry and can guide the young. It's the young people you want to lead. The young is the youth you want to pass on this knowledge. So stop looking at us in isolation. Look, stop doing that. Look at us, the contributions we have made, the experiences we have, and how with youth, nothing can beat youth and experience, The youth can run faster, but we sure, you understand? Because we have walked that road before. So I just want to say, let's use this opportunity to really work together, to embrace as many ideas as is possible, because the more ideas we bring to bear, the more inclusive we are, and the more unifying we become can only lead to a more successful and a stronger and sustainable industry. Thank you.
Yes. So I'm hearing everybody's heart this morning, and I would like to know what everyone has in mind to change the situation. What can we do? Because we need to reverse this cycle because things are going haywire. So we need to reverse this cycle. We need to put things right. What you guys think is the next step or what we should do to correct this and move forward as a team? Because right now it's because right now it's old people and it's young people, and this is the thing that is going on. There is no respect in between. There's no respect for either side of the fence, and we need to build that respect. So, what you guys think we should do and how we should move forward to get
Or
this solved?
I want to add a few things, and I want to jump off here because I might got to leave you folks early because I can't stay out through the whole stuff. But
No problem, sir.
it's in New York right now, and my opinion is, and I hold this very dearly, that Guyanese music has been stuck in purgatory for the last 40 years. I would say 40 years. And why I use the word purgatory is it's been stuck. With the word purgatory meaning that it is a place where the dead go and rest, and then the decision either to go to heaven or hell. But our Guyanese music is in that place right now. It's been there for the last 40 years. We haven't had any successful um, what we say, indication in the last probably 35 to 40 years for Guyanese music. And all we keep doing all the time is adding new people to the place of purgatory. All the competitions that come up and every other thing will happen, we add a next 5,000 music, a next 6,000. So we have like about, let's just say 100,000 songs right now, all in purgatory because none of the artists ain't going away. We fighting with each other in the purgatory, look around to see who bothered and who, but we still ain't going away. There is no outlet. So one of the things that I'm trying to do from this end here is trying to see if I could open up avenues so that Guyanese artists could get a chance to perform in the US. Might be small venues. I don't have access to the big conglomerates, but I want to start. I already started some small initiatives right now where we go to clubs once a month. We have other activities we got going on. We got a boat cruise coming up. We have activities, and we're going to be using Guyanese from who got visas right now. We also have system in place because we have registered business in the US that can apply, and we have the knowledge how we can apply it for P3 visas for individuals that we want to bring to the US. So we have a movement of people coming from Guyana performing in the US. And we hope that when they have stuff in Guyana, because one of the things that happens, most of the Guyanese artists in America don't get invited to anything back in Guyana to perform. They just keep the money in Guyana. They just think about Guyana as being Guyana. But every day, if somebody picking up the phone and calling for Western Union or MoneyGram in the US, we only good for send back money to Guyana. So we got to change the narrative so that the people the artists in the US must have an opportunity to go home and get paid just like the Jamaican, them young Jamaican man, with them no name Jamaican that just go to Guyana. Yeah, they get the same kind of money if you go back home and perform, you know. We give them the opportunity to come from there, they come up to the US. We could add them to our program in here so they could go, they come perform, get paid, and go back home. So we have to find a movement in the US. I don't know, but one of the place I'm here right now, so I'm going to work with what I have in my hand to create avenues where we could do state tours in the US so we could at least start the summer break from May to September. We got at least probably 15 to 20 tours happening between May and September, because that's when the sun started to come out and start to and stop and go back in. And I'm working on that with a couple of people from here right now. Um, if it doesn't have no support from anybody on the outside, we're gonna use our resources like we always been doing. That's what me, Bunny, and Borge been doing most of the time. We spend our own money in the things that we believe in, and it always happened because I have never been unsuccessful in anything that I put my hand towards. So I my
Um,
right now is to take the Guyanese music out to purgatory. Once we have outlets, then the music can start coming from purgatory and going to different avenues. It could be US, it could be London, it could be Africa, it could be Germany, it could be France, it could be Holland. But we got to start getting all this good music that we have locked up out into the domains that people could start earning.
Or I would like to jump in here to say a few
Go ahead.
things also quickly. One of the first things that we got to do is that we have to sit and talk. We got to change the mindset, the narrative, the concept that this is a war between youth and old. Because, like Bart said, they ain't got nothing beat youth and experience. Youth might run faster, but the experience goes by. This is what you need to do. You need to start increasing your sprint from about halfway around the final lap, because been there, done that. There is something that we have to offer. And we've got to, first of all, bring along our people to appreciate, to accept, and promote, because it don't happen if the people of your country is not moving with you. And this is where the DJs come in, because they are the one who will move the music, who will play the music, who will make people like the music, because when something is played often, eventually you find yourself automatically start singing to that tune. So we've got to sit, we've got to talk, to get the music out of purgatory. I think we could only get it if our people moves with us. You know, if we got shows in Guyana where people say, me Guyanese, Guyanese artists, when the Guyanese done, then I can go in and them kind of stuff. We are in bad shape. And we're not looking and seeing how Trinidad and Barbados and Jamaica, how they're doing it. They're not doing it without the support and help from their people and from their governments. I mean, me, Ian, Cody, Kester, we all might try and we use our own resources, but then we could only go a certain way. We might meet the roof, but then you need to go to the sky, and we might not have the resource. I mean, yes, nowadays you can team up with people. You can, what's the word they just call it now? You can collaborate, or you could network with people, and it helps. It helps. But we need to get the kind of resources. I love what the president said, because this used to happen years ago about exchange programs. He spoke with the prime minister of Barbados, or the president, and said, look, we got programs, you go send some artists, and we can send some artists to your country. That used to happen years ago. That happened under Fabs Burnham. But somewhere along the line, I don't know what happened. We just drop off one by one. We just, at one time, Ghana was the mecca of music in the Caribbean. At one time, Ghana was leading Trinidad and number Caribbean, Barbados, and the Barbadian Music Foundation was built by Guyanese musicians. Francis, Derry Atkins, just to name a few, who went and lived there and made contributions to the Barbados music industry. Trinidad also, the Mutu brothers, Guyanese, who started the whole revolution for music in Trinidad. These things we don't know. But we, as Guyanese, we have made our contribution. Trinidad came here and learned how to promote from the vaudeville shows that Guyana used to have. There was a lady by the name of Madame Molindi who went to Trinidad and did a number of things that helped Trinidad. And Lord Canary, when you see Lord Canary, when you see Trinidad just coming out now, when you say, well, let's put our hands together and welcome Black Box Stalin, and he come out and he sing another verse of his calypso, a fifth verse that he didn't sing on the regular song. That was Canary. Canary started that in Trinidad. But somehow we just believe that we ain't got talent, and old people and this and old people that. But these are men who laid the foundation. We need to get back into that. We need to talk. We need to understand our history. Then we could move forward. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Alves, thanks for that. And just before I add my 2 cents, the reason why some people have been left. Sorry, somebody.
All?
Yes,
I
sir.
don't
Yes,
hear
sir.
him.
I'm here, sir. I'm here, sir.
All?
Yes, sir.
Oh Lord, I need to say one more thing.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah,
All?
go ahead.
You hearing me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I'm just begging here for 1 more minute. There's something important that I left out. 1 minute more, please.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
All right. The mighty sparrow came to Guyana, and the Trinidad musicians would come to Guyana in the off season to get work in Guyana. Mighty Sparrow came to Guyana, link up with a Guyanese manager by the name of help me, Charmaine. Oh Lord, oh Shah. I can't remember. Cyril Shah was Sparrow's manager. Sparrow recorded a song called Gene and Dino in Guyana at Seals Recording Studio on Rap Street. And he said, Cyril, I'm feeling something with this song. I want to go back to Trinidad with this song. Cyril paid his passage. Cyril was his manager. He went back to Trinidad with Gene and Dino. And that song won the Road March, produced in Guyana, recorded in Guyana. These are things we must know. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Alves, thanks for that. A lot of history right there and information. All right, so I was about to say, many of us are left out because of the fact there are people who got the ears of the decision makers, the people who got the money, or
Remember.
guys hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you, Kester.
Because I'm hearing like somebody saying something.
It's Bonnie.
Right. And so people are talking, and the thing is, we're talking against each other. And so people pick a side as to, all right, because of what this person said. So when we get this event, we're not going to involve this person, we're not going to involve that person because of this and because of that. So we are at this place because a lot of talking going on behind the scene and people who earn the trust of the decision makers. And so what you find, because of the relationship, persons are left out. Okay? All right, moving forward to what can we do? For me, when there is when you have to build a bridge or take on some major project, there is something called feasibility studies. Meaning you have to go and check out the area, see what needs to be added, what. With regards to the music, we need to do that. We've been talking for too long and nothing happened. So now it's time for some actions. Now that we get the attention of the president and the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports in this regard, what we need to do, for instance, like how we had with the studios, put up some money. This is where the private sector and all these major organizational companies comes in. Put up some money to have a studio competition. You pull studios, if there are 10 studios, you say, well, all right, we putting up this money, we giving each studio 10 artists to produce. And out of those studios, the best that comes out of it, we give those studios the responsibility to go to the next level. I think that is a very excellent way to start. And I mean that you're gonna see fairness. People gonna put in their best work because they see, hey, I got to do it because I want to make sure they in this top 5 or whatever to go to that next level. And that's how you'll find the cream of the crop to take the Guyanese music where we want it to go internationally. But talk, and doing nothing, brethren. We gotta stop the talking and act, right? So I hope that these words wouldn't fall on deaf ears. I don't have to be a part of it. I don't have to be a part of it. So I just want to clear the air with Kester. You want to be a part of nothing, right? But I'm not going to see hypocrisy and untruth peddle and turn a blind eye. I would not. They would hear from me if that is the case.
All right. So one thing I need to get clear and on this show today. Uh, the question is being asked uh, from the other end is what was disrespectful or what was said that was disrespectful. Um, can we clear this up? Because I need
Well,
to.
it's not from
Yes,
well,
sir.
not was said disrespectful. I think
Let me ask.
representation when the president asked how
Mhm,
many studios are there in Guyana. That was a general. Guyana is 83,000 square miles, and
mhm,
so for the artist to sit in the room
mhm,
and hear people say 3 studios in Guyana
mhm,
and did not confront that at that point in time, I have a
mhm.
problem with it. Because I know there are artists who in there or people in there very well know that there are more than 3 studios in Guyana. That is my contention.
Thank you,
And
sir.
I will affirm that too, because that was the basis on the which I made my posting. You know, because these guys went live after then. Like I here how I see situation. You know, we all just know when something in right. Because I should have listened back and look back at the stuff, and I would have known that it was left with a hanging fruit at the end of that conversation or the video. It was left with the impression that it was just 3 studios in Guyana, and the president divided the $9 million amongst the 3 studios that he thought was the only 3 studios in Guyana. They did not choose then at that moment. Everybody just stood to have the applause of the crowd, and they got caught up in the hype in the moment. And I'm saying that if you're saying you want to be the leaders of tomorrow, you want to lead people ahead into the future, you got also have to also do it as a burden and it's a responsibility, and you must be in tune with things like, hey, this thing is sitting down right. I need to address this. How can you just feel comfortable with that and then tell 12 days after? Because I counted. When I heard it, I gave it 12 days. I was checking on all them page. I've been on everybody's page to see when they do a live, if they're gonna address that is no, we have to include the recipe. And none of them did. It just that wasn't no one time thing and I just decided for thing. I was on all 3 of them pages every single day hearing for looking at the live to see if they're gonna say, we spoke to the president and we had everybody. It was left hanging that is only 3 studio and they're the 3 studio. And as far as I know, Sammy records at Vijay Studio. So and for the end of the day, I want to know. And then everybody started. All of a sudden, everybody just gets this national thing. Everybody started talking about how they're going to empower other artists. And you check the live on the page. They never had no live saying what they're going to do for nobody. But all of a sudden, everybody come up with live. They're going to help this person. They're going to help that person, and blah blah blah. But nobody did not mention or corrected the hanging fruit that was left at the end of that video. How many studios are in Guyana? And because they didn't do that, I called them out. And I have no apologies to give to them. You know, it means if the future, if I have to work with them in the future, I wouldn't hold nothing against them. All I wanted to say, hey, we messed up. We overlook it. It's an easy thing. I had a situation when I look at the newspaper article that was written on the whole article with Sammy and all of them, and I started using the government because the whole newspaper article was written. It was written like if the president had no proper advisor. But it didn't sit down good with me because I said something missing here, and I searched and find the actual video for the presentation. Then I recognized that I was wrong. The president was asking for inclusivity and under that video when I posted, I apologized to the president and the team for misinterpreting and for calling them names that was unnecessary because he didn't sit down good with me. So I call them out because at the end of the day, if you want to lead people, you got to be fair. And I would like to see fair leadership. If young people are going to lead other young people, they got to be fair with whatever they're doing. So I'm asking the youngsters who wants to be the leader for tomorrow, be conscious of some of the hanging fruits that you leave. Just don't left no fruit hanging too long. You got to deal with the situation. Just don't assume that other people, because I saw live this morning where they're telling people, oh, people shouldn't call the ministry and add the name. It's not our responsibility. You were right there and you want to be the representation for Guyana. We want to see you like how I am a disgusting man. No? I make all me mischief. Be Ian Johnson. Be making mischief right. They say, Mr. President, this thing wrong. No. Because if I was there, this is what I would have done. He would have never got a chance to come out to that meeting without I telling you I have to tell him. Because this is how I stay. But I'll find my way through the security and everybody to say what I had to say. Because that's Ian Johnson.
Mr. Birch, do you have anything to suggest a way moving forward before we wrap up?
Well, for me, it's it's just a simple thing. It's just respect, appreciating the values and the kind of contributions we can all make. This industry cannot be looked at in isolation. It's not for one set of people. I admire the energies of the younger guys, but for me, with my experience, and you look at the presentation from the floor after the president asked for ideas from the floor, it's everything in a small parcel. What we need is to gel the entire thing. We need continuity of purpose. So if Ian is going to do his thing in America, he must be a part of the extended range of the industry. So every year, as part of our performance space, we know that we can tour on the WhatsApp. So Kester now knows that he's going to work hard. He's going to release music in January, February, March, because in July, the touring season of America begins. So it encourages people to work harder because you have many things to look forward to. We know that in September, we have the big show at the stadium or several shows. We know there are going to be pop-up concerts. And that's what I'm talking about. These activities must go from year to year. So there's continuity of purpose. It's not a hodgepodge thing. So Ian becomes a part of the whole industry framework. The DJs become a part of the entire industry framework. And that is what I'm saying. If there's another meeting with the president, other ideas must be allowed to flow. And then we can gel these ideas for an industry. We're not talking about an individual. Ian cannot survive on his own like that. But if he's a part of the extended purpose, then we can survive. Then we can survive. So I think all we need to do is to acknowledge that we have talents, we have knowledge, we all want to develop a great industry that is sustainable. So let's work together. Simple.
All right, one question. And
Yes, sir.
I don't want to use a platform to send this out. And I hope that we can get some answers. This is how you're asking us questions.
Yes, sir.
Why is it the other people weren't invited to that specific meeting? Why just a few people were invited? Why not the other studios or other radio owners and at a level like that to discuss the music industry in Guyana? Only those people? Why others were not invited to the meeting? That's what I would like to know.
All right. So from what I gathered, the meeting that they had was for the independence performers. They had a meeting with them, and then this stuff ended up thrown into the bag, into the discussion. From what I gathered from it, it wasn't a general meeting to meet with everybody, and stuff like that. It wasn't thrown out. It was basically for the review of the independence performance and stuff they had, and so on.
My investigation showed that too. People told me that because I called to find out because I'm the kind of guy that does that. I want to know. When I want to know something, I go to the ends of the earth to find out what it is. So that I was told that the meeting was to celebrate with the people who had the independence performance, and they were meeting them to congratulate them for the great job done, and I make them, it's a nice feeling and then the president choke a few carrots at that meeting.
So would that mean another meeting will be following with regards to other studio owners now that this is on the floor?
Because none of us can answer the question here right now. We just as lost.
And to that. That's for sure. I will say
Hands
that.
up, hands up, hands up, hands up.
No,
All right.
I was asked this question too. Why didn't I not pick up the phone and call the young men and tell them that they were you know, y'all are wrong to leave the thing hanging. But I'm
Hello? Hello?
yeah,
Are you guys here?
Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, it's so interesting as I was about to add something too. All right. Whenever a particular set of persons are chosen to speak on behalf or represent an entire industry, it's a recipe for disaster and it doesn't work. My point is, a representative set of people needs to be approached and spoken to, as opposed to one set who would obviously have their interests in their heart. Same breath, I want to shout out all the other studios that aren't here in this discussion and were not even mentioned, but over the past few years, a lot of studios have arisen and everybody is putting their shoulders to the wheel. And I think that the rivalry is good. It's healthy rivalry as it could only bring out the best in you. Okay. Having said that now, certain things I would be happy and I'm sure you would too if the government could pay closer attention to, right? Starting with what I just said, reaching out to more individuals and players in the industry as opposed to one set. Other than that, they could take a look at legislation that would enhance the infrastructure and the practice of the arts and entertainment industry in this country, whether it be tax breaks. I know everybody calls for copyright, which is a very complex issue, and it doesn't only apply to music and the arts, right? Maybe that's the reason why the progress has been so slow. The $9 million, which I've been staying away from, which I know too isn't a lot of money, but at least it's a start. Um, Perhaps if you extend grants to those who are active and maybe got the compliance right and so on, that will be more embraced. All right. And in this entire discussion here, if we leave without plotting the way forward, it would be what I call another talk shop. So before we break off, it would be good if we could pay some more attention to that. Birch, I know where you are coming from, and I heard of your 20-page document, which I know that you're capable of. And that is good. Don't get me wrong. The old versus young thing, y'all adequately dealt with that. Age or age is just a number. And I could speak from my personal experience, from the rough cut experience. I'm 53. My son is the engineer and he pilots this studio. He could relate to and deals with, literally speaking, since we have been in existence, a couple hundred youths. 90% of the people that we have been dealing with are the younger folk. So I could relate very well to that. One other idea that could move this whole thing forward is if we have like a national song competition. Every other island, most other countries have this. We don't have. Where not just artists but studios could be included And out of that, a movement would be set in place where a lot of talent, there's a lot of talent out there, not just the names that we know. I could tell you as one actively involved in the industry, there's a lot of untapped talent out there that need the bus, need the doors to be open, that don't have the resources to get their own talent out there. And all of this could be tapped into. I'm just playing with some of the ideas. I've been listening keenly to what everyone had to say so far, and it is valuable input. I'm just trying to add to this, but food for thought, an annual national music competition. Like I know there is Digicel, Rising Stars, Heineken, Heatwave, Magnum, Kings and Queens. This is Jamaica I'm talking about, and everywhere else has their own. And I'm not talking about a jingle competition. I'm talking here about original music, original lyrics, original beats, everything. That is food for thought, and I think that it could play a major role in pushing this whole movement forward. As I said earlier, marketing. Of late, I've been dealing with some young Trinidadian artists, very young Trinidadian artists, that when they put out a song in very little time, you could see 8.5, 9 million views. And it had me puzzled. When I dug down into it, the reason for this success was how they market, the social media that they use. They use TikTok, they use Instagram, Facebook. What I gathered from them isn't as much a force as it used to be. When you do a release, the image you do, who do you target, all of these little things, they broke it down to a science, and it works. We need to make this a study to and emulate. So much for now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. If any last, anybody have any last note to make before we wrap up this show?
I just want congratulations to you, Earl, on your new post and for doing such an excellent job in terms of interviewing this program. Being the moderator, you were very calm and answering on point questions. Congrats, you're very proud of you, my brother.
Hey, thanks, man.
You're welcome. Yeah.
We have to give you the title now. Is Sammy co-producer. So. Everybody know it's a small business. Everybody know what's happening. But I like your professionalism. Or I just want to relay the message to those young guys, because just reach out to them and they don't be. I've been trying to reach out to Sammy to get some music. I've reached out to you to get some of your music to play on my little internet radio. But since you get your big radio, you don't have no small other radio, so you never send your music. I can beat up on the people because you're not out being chastised.
Check email, sir.
So you need to send me a circle and it's the Caribbean Prince.
Let me say this. All right. Permit me, please.
Yes,
Answer that, right? And this is radio, and I'm sure Samuel Madas listening to this program. There's a lot of things bubbling around in the air. There's a lot of things bubbling around in the air with regards to me and Sammy. How people saying I'm fighting down Sammy, and listen. If Sammy want to be honest, he's gonna be honest. Or you know better too, right? But the thing is with me and Sammy, there was an issue. I think it was an independence concert. And I reached out to Sammy and said, Sammy, I got this independent concert at Dorman Park. And I would like you to think, Sammy said, all right, talk to my manager and, whatever. He can talk to the manager and he can see. So the manager hit me up and the manager tell me, 1,000 US. So I said, man, this is a free event. I mean, we given a stipend, which was like $25,000 to everybody who based on the little sponsorship that I got. We gave a little $25,000 to everybody. It was a free event. It wasn't a money-making thing. The sound system alone was $1.5 million. So when they tell me that, I say, all right, I can't afford that and whatever it takes. So the pass, right? So Sammy got E album launch now when he brings Stitchy. And Sammy reached out to me and said, Kester, why you help me promote this event and whatever? I tell Sammy, I say 1,000 US. and this what cause this what cause the problem on it. So since that Sammy got nothing to do with me and all them things. But listen, Sammy's a good brother. I love the brother. And for me holding no malice against the brother, you know what I mean? But you know, it is what it is, man. So I just want to clear the air on them things because there's no bad mind and no bad vibes with me and nobody. One love same way. But I just
Yeah.
want to put it out there. And if somebody want to contest it, he could go right ahead. But then why I tell you that? That's the problem. Right there. I just tell you 1,000 now because he asked me for 1,000 for do I ask for invite you on my program. So I just tell you, give me 1,000.
Sure.
And they need to acknowledge that they did tell the president that they add the rest of the studios to the stuff. They can't leave it hanging. They just want to just go on and talk about all the great things that they want to do or they're gonna do. You know, this whole thing is about you didn't add the rest of the people. So to end this, we just need a confirmation that that there's an acknowledgement that either the president or the minister of culture or the ministry of culture or whoever involved knows that there are the studios and they're going to be looking at them and they're going to be added. And to add, y'all been saying $9 million, but the president said he's gonna put $100 million into entertainment. He didn't say what part of the entertainment, but there's like $100 million government is going to be putting into entertainment. So there's lots of other money to be spent and to be for board for the page to see if work all that into to hit stuff. So I'll leave it that. And secondly, I have no feelings against the brothers. All I wanted them to do is to acknowledge that they're more than studios and just give everybody the fair. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for being on the mid morning show at 107.1. It was a pleasure chatting with the generals this morning. Uh, let's hope and pray that this situation stops and it moves forward and we all move to one point of getting things together and we all grow together. All right. So, thank you guys for being on the mid morning show with me this morning. Have a great day.
Yeah, man. One love, respect, all. Love that.